and welcome to the 4th episode of Wizard Weekly, where we bring you news and humor from around the spiral. And boy, has the spiral been crowded. Spring break has hit Wizard City like a wizard tornado, and finding a server that isn't crowded is a feat in itself. To deal with this monstrous movement of magical beings, King's Isle took the Wizard 101 servers offline yesterday to upgrade them in the hopes that they'll be able to handle the workload more easily. The transition seems pretty flawless, but wizards encountering problems are encouraged to contact Wizard 101 technical support by sending an email to them on their homepage or leaving a message in the official Wizard 101 Hailstorm's Laboratory forum. Make sure you write a detailed report about the problems so they can identify and address it more easily. If your wizardly wanderings should lead you to YouTube, you may want to check out Esme Dawnhaven's up-and-coming Operation Pet Improvement series. It'll launch on Saturday, April 23rd on the YouTube channel Wizard 101 Extreme, so make sure you tune in. Got some juicy news for you in the Power Pip today. Wizard 101 Central has hosted 199 previous tournaments and has big plans for their 200th. Sign-ups for this massive event will be opening Sunday, April 24th, and with prizes like 60,000 crowns, you'd be insane not to enter. I'll be recording several random matches, so keep an eye out for the camera crew. There's more information on this massive event in the Wizard 101 Central homepage, and there's a link in the information below. See you there! This week in Better Homes and Gardens, we tour the house of Tavia Fireflower, who despite her name has a rather cool casa. Tavia and her friends like to chill out in her super cool ice home. Here you can see a depiction of the massive struggle between the dragons and the ice giants, and if you think that's impressive, wait till you see the rest of her house. Outside is a small colossus sanctuary where they can romp and play all day. She also has a small aviary where you can watch cute little icebergs come and go. Her magical garden remains bright and cheerful despite the cold weather. Oh, excuse me, that I should probably get out of. The inside of Tavia's home is a beautiful winter garden where more of her pets wait to greet you. Her pets really are her pride and joy. They even have their own nursery. Just next to the nursery is her lounge, all ready for Easter. If you keep going, you'll make it up to the kitchen, where you can warm up by the fire and maybe snitch a cookie or two. Just across from the kitchen is Tavia's room, a beautiful blue haven where she can relax and overlook her garden below. Tavia even has a guest room where her friends can stay the night in case the weather gets too bad. Tavia's house, while frozen solid, is a warm and inviting environment. Her use of light and color really brighten up the place, and it's hard to be grumpy with all her pets around to cheer you up. For today's home glitch, I'll be creating a ladder out of crates, tatami mats, and envelopes to try and put a second floor on my dorm room which, as you can see, has been converted to storage. For this trick you'll need a handful of tatami mats from Mushu, some envelopes, you can buy those at the bazaar for pocket change, and twice as many labeled crates. And by labeled crates I mean crate of jelly beans, crate of hot dogs, or crates of pudding. To get this glitch started, you want to take 2 crates and put them side by side about where you want your ladder to be. You want it there because it's been my experience that the topmost tatami mat won't move for you. And you'll put your tatami mat on one of the crates. Make sure that only a little bit is on one and most of it is on another. You'll stack more crates on top of this, and we'll put another tatami mat on top of that. Make sure you put your tatami mats all on the same side, otherwise your ladder is going to be lopsided and it won't work very well. You can keep putting crates and tatami mats on top of each other until you reach the height you want your ladder to be. I'm feeling daring. Let's go for a 4th layer. Yeah, okay. And there's the last crate. Oops. There. Now, to move my ladder, I'm going to take the one with the least amount of mat on it and move it. I'll clean up the rest and move my ladder back into position right underneath the floating tatami mat. This creates a temporary ladder. You can go up, you can go down. It's kind of unsightly though. Kind of takes up a whole bunch of room, so I'm going to show you how to make it invisible, and that is what the envelopes are for. Just as soon as I can find them. There they are. Now take your envelopes and put them on the corner of the tatami mats. Just like that. One more. And there you have it. Take your crate ladder and move it to the side. Pick it up. Go back for that one tatami mat. And there you have it. Your own personal ladder. Now if you're a little short on cash, you can put a tatami mat on every other crate and it'll still work just as well. However, I tend to lose my ladders because you can't see the underside of things you floated, and the first envelope is kinda tricky to spot with the default camera angle. This is not an easy glitch and it'll take you a few tries before you can get it. Heck, it took me 7 just to make this video, but the rewards are well worth it, so hang in there. Just a quick note on Better Homes and Gardens. The entry thread for May will be closing down for selection on Sunday the 24th, so if you'd like to get your home entered to have a chance to have it showcased next month, please get your houses in ASAP. We'll be picking 4 houses and 2 backup houses from the rather insane amount of entries posted, and getting in touch with the winners via PM on Wizard 101 Central, so keep an eye on your mailbox. Speaking of mailboxes, the one for letters from the spiral was pretty stuffed this week. We had a ton of amazing questions and it kinda broke my heart that we could only do a few. Our first one is from Crypt Wraith, who would like to know, do you think King's Isle should have a better verification system for the 18+ chat? Indeed I do, Crypt, indeed I do. I'd love to see a better filtration system on the chat options, but the thing is, all the age verification systems out there are kind of invasive, and Wizard 101's goal seems to be maintaining autonomy to keep the younger wizards safe. The problem with a more strict system, too, is that everything short of a social security number check can be duped or fooled or tricked, kinda like the system that's in place now. So, while I'd love to see a crackdown on the under 18 chat, I really don't know how they're going to pull it off without losing a large segment of their player base. IT-Wiz writes in to ask, does the enemy progression seem a bit too similar through the spiral? For the most part, yes. While you're leveling from Wizard City through to Dragonspire, you're playing through content that was once really challenging, but has been dumbed down so new wizards will have an easier time questing through it on their own. The bosses you encounter will be very linear in terms of skills and abilities because a leveling wizard isn't going to spend a lot of time farming them, they'll just beat them up once and skip off to turn in their quests, and that's pretty much the way it should be. Grizzleheim was a bit more challenging. Mobs were smarter, some had more health than you were used to dealing with, and they were given a wider array of abilities to keep you on your guard. These encounters were made harder first and foremost because they led right into level 50 party bosses, but also because King's Isle was getting feedback that suggested that the rest of the spiral was a bit of a snooze fest and they wanted to keep their player base happy and alert. And then there's Celestia. Celestia caught a great deal of us off guard. A close friend of mine said, "It's more like PvP than anything," and I think she hit the nail on the head. You have to shield, you have to heal, and you have to bring your A game to each and every encounter, otherwise the monsters in, say, the grotto will pop you in the nose so hard they'll knock you clear back to the base camp and, you're defeated. They've done this because it's technically endgame content, and they don't want it to go by that fast. They also expect people to be farming it for gear, and they don't want it to be a pushover like the rest of your leveling experience. So, yeah, everything is pretty linear. The mobs and bosses are pretty easy, but then there are outliers like Grizzleheim and Celestia where you can go if you want a challenge. An interesting question coming in from Tavia Blood is, what is your personal opinion on the new amulets? What do you think of the pricing, and why? I know we touched on this last week, but when you brought up pricing, I think it became another question, a very good question, and one I'd actually been thinking about prior to your asking. Like I said last week, I think that the release of these amulets before we can farm them is a bit of a faux pas on KingsIsle's part, because now there's a rift in the gameplay between the guy who has it and the guy who doesn't. One has to spend 4 pips on a satyr, and the next guy has to spend 8, and that's kind of imbalanced. And the people who have to be good, the people with PvP teams depending on them, or a reputation to uphold, kinda got pigeonholed into buying these things, and they are mad expensive, but they need them to remain competitive in their particular field. I know they're priced high to keep people interested in farming them, to keep people in the game longer, to give them something to do, but I personally believe the prices are really unrealistic. I mean, for 50 more crowns, you can buy a house. These amulets were pitched to us as a solution to resists, and in the long run they are, but I think that their primary goal was to enable wizards to continue to use out-of-school spells when they've surpassed the 7-pip mark, which isn't a problem right now, so KingsIsle could have easily tossed this in the "It's coming soon" file and let it sit in the warehouse until the release of Wintertusk. If you combine all these elements, the timing, the cost, the goal, the gameplay gap, it just really feels like a money grab. To me, anyway. All you can really do, though, is facepalm and offer another cup of coffee to the Muda and pray Wintertusk comes out sooner rather than later. Alright, sorry for that rant. The next question's gonna be objective, I swear. We'll finish this up with a fun question from Nikki Nova, who wonders, do you think there will be any upcoming schools in the future like there was in Celestia? Yes. We may not see them for a long time, but I'll eat my microphone if we don't see new schools again in the next few years. We may have to wait until the end of the Morgan-themed questline, however long that takes, but I'm almost certain that we'll see new schools. They won't be in the immediate future, but we will see them. It'll be really interesting to see what these schools will be, too, because I can't really think of any new ones off the top of my head. I mean, I hope KingsIsle's doing better than I am. What do you guys think the new schools will be? I'd love to hear your ideas. Alrighty, that wraps up this week's Wizard Weekly. I'll see you guys next week at our new time, Friday evenings. Have a safe and wonderful holiday weekend, and enjoy spring break. Peace! Ew, I totally just got boogers all over my microphone. Ew.